Hi, Mark again with Right on Target with Mark and Scarlett. From time to time, people come in the store and they want to say, Mark, what's your favorite, or what do you suggest for a good carry conceal weapon? So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about that. We're going to address that a little bit and talk about what, these aren't necessarily the top 4 selling CCW weapons in the United States, but these are the top 4 selling CCW pistols at Tactical Solutions. These are the ones that we sell a lot of, and I'll go and touch bases on each one of them a little bit, give you the ins and outs of them. Like I said, these are the top 4. They're all low capacity all low capacity pistols, semi-automatic pistols. I'm not selling out on revolvers. Revolvers are great guns, and we'll go there on another day. But today we're going to talk about the semi-automatic pistols and the top 4 that we sell here at Tactical Solutions, and give you a little insight on each one of the pistols, and let you make a decision from there. I guess the first one we're going to talk about is the Taurus 709 Slim. It is just what it says it is. It's a very slim pistol. It's a 7 round magazine on this individual. It's a 9mm pistol. It's got a good magazine release, easy to get to. Again, it's Taurus. It's not what I would consider anymore as far as Taurus goes. At one time, people considered Taurus a low-end pistol. We do not have any problems with these. We've not had any come back, any complaints. We sell quite a few of them. They're on the lower end of the spectrum as far as price goes. It does have a manual safety. People like to have the manual safety. It has a nice grip. We can put grip extensions on these because I know for a subject such as myself, the grip isn't nearly big enough, but if we do put the grip extensions on them, it does make a big difference. A well-rounded weapon. The one thing I want to talk about, and we're going to talk about on each one of these weapons, it's dear to my heart, is trigger reset. You don't hear a lot about trigger reset when people do instructional videos, and I'm going to explain to you a little bit about trigger reset, and then we'll touch on each one of these as trigger reset comes into play. And it's important to me. I know as a law enforcement officer, we were taught trigger reset with the Glock, and it's important to understand what trigger reset is. Basically, trigger reset is when the gun is fired, such as that, and the trigger's held to the rear position, the gun cycles. You let up on the trigger, and I'm sure you all heard that click. That's all the further you need to come forward to fire another round out of the weapon, and you're right back in contact with the firing pin on the trigger. Again, this is your trigger reset. You can hear the click, okay, and then the amount of slack coming back on this one's pretty minimal. So as far as the Taurus goes, this gun has a good trigger reset. I'm a big advocate of trigger reset because once you learn that, you can really fire a weapon effectively and very nice and very quickly in a tac-tac situation. So I give this weapon a B+. It's not a bad weapon. It's a low. It doesn't cost a whole lot of money, but it's not your top end makers, but it's a very reliable and low end weapon. It has an external safety. And the other thing I want to talk about is it took a page out of Glock's book, and basically the pull downs on both sides, and you can take it apart, clean it. It's an easy to clean weapon. It's an easy tear down for a field strip. So that's basically the Taurus in a nutshell. It's slim. I think it's right at about 1 inch this direction, and it stays slim to your hip or inside your waistband or wherever you might want to carry. And again, it's a carry conceal weapon, and that's what you want, something that sits tight to your body. From there, I guess we'll go up to the Ruger LC9S. Now, when this weapon first came out, Ruger produced it. It was just the LC9, and it didn't have the striker fire on it. Now it is a striker fire, and it's a lot better. Again, it's kind of similar to the Taurus. It has a 6-round magazine. No, this is also 7. I'm sorry. It has a 7-round magazine. It has the finger extension already on it when it comes from the factory. But again, it's a slim weapon, 9mm, and it does have an external safety, which is important to a lot of people, I know. Here's the external safety on it, so you have an external safety. Trigger reset on this weapon. Let's see what we got. Well, we have to have the magazine in the fire. Now, as you can tell, the trigger reset isn't the same in there. There it is. See how far I went with that? Coming back, there is quite a bit of slack. So not all weapons are created equal on the trigger reset. So the trigger reset on this gets about a C, maybe a C minus in my book. And trigger reset, guys, I'll tell you, once you learn trigger reset, I think you're going to agree with me that it's important. But I would say that this gets a C plus on trigger reset. But other than that, it's really a fine shooting weapon. Ruger makes quality weapons. It's a little bit more up to scale than Taurus. Again, it's a striker fire weapon, and 9mm. It's thin, like I said, it's going to sit close to the body, but it's a well-rounded weapon, and they really improved it since they put the striker fire in it. It was just an LC9, now it's an LC9S, which stands for striker fire. So it's not a bad weapon. We sell a lot of them. People like the way they feel in their hands, and I think the reason being is when they pick it up, it automatically has the hammer extension on. I'm sorry, magazine extension on it. So it feels pretty good for them. We're going from 4 to 1 in my opinion, and you know what opinions say about opinions, but we're going from 4 to 1. That was number 3. We're going on to number 2, the M&P Shield. We really sell a lot of these. The M&P Shield, again, 7-round magazine, 9mm, thin in the hand, very thin, 1 inch. 1 inch on this. Striker fire weapon. Let's take a look. Trigger reset. Manipulate the slide here. Way up. Coming back, pretty good. Coming forward quite a bit. I probably have to go with a B on that one, a B minus. External safety. Again, 7 rounds, 9mm. Give you an idea, I've always carried a 45 ACP weapon. I carried a 45 on duty, which was a Glock 21, and I've carried 45s off duty for years. So keep this a secret, but I am now carrying a 9mm, and it's this weapon. So let's don't tell too many people, but I do carry 9mm occasionally, and actually this is my weapon. So I do like it. It shoots well. The teardown is a little bit more complicated. That was one thing I didn't touch on the Ruger, the teardown. The teardown on the Ruger is a lot more complicated than the Taurus. You have to pop a pin out, take it out, put it back together, you pop a pin back, whereas the Taurus, you just slid the slide off after pulling down the 2 disconnects. This is a little bit easier too. It's just basically a flip-up mechanism where pull the trigger, the slide slides off. So it's a little bit quicker, a little bit easier than the Ruger. That's one thing I liked about it. It's a good weapon. It's a Smith & Wesson. It has the loaded chamber indicator that the Ruger does not have, and I don't think. No, it's Smith & Wesson. It's a Smith & Wesson exclusive on that. So it has the open chamber indicator, whereas these others don't have it. Or I'm sorry, not open chamber, but loaded cylinder, loaded chamber indicator, tongue tie. But that will show you the brass color in there. You can tell there's a round the chamber. I like this weapon. The sights are nice on it. It shoots well and it fits well in my hand. One magazine comes with the extension on it, the other doesn't. You have to buy the extension to put on it. So we put them on here for you, but this is our number 2. This would be our number 2 selling, and it also probably comes in close to number 1. And I'm a little biased with the next weapon, and you're going to understand why. The next weapon we're going to go to is the new Glock 43. I'm a Glock person. Sorry guys, I know it's the plastic gun, but boy, I'm telling you. In 1989, the Sheriff's Office, when I started my career, I carried a Model 65 Smith & Wesson. In 1989, we were going to switch to semi-automatics, and all the companies sent us their SIGs, their Smith & Wessons, and the Glock. We put these guns through torture tests, and the Glock, I'm sorry guys, but the Glock came out on top. And I think they have something like 65 to 70% of the police market today. This weapon, again, is a thin weapon. This is the Glock 43 with the high-vis night sight on the front. The standard doesn't come with that, but it also, I believe, is a 7-round magazine. But it's It's a nice weapon. It's a right out of the box accurate weapon. The tear down, I don't have to tell you about the tear down on the Glock. It's the pull down on both sides, and the slide comes right off, and you're ready to field strip it and clean it. You see how quick that is. So granted, I've done that quite a few times, but the Glock is what it is. It's a nice weapon. As far as weight and everything loaded, it's a balanced weapon. Tear down, I already talked about tear down. Now I want to address this is where Glock stands above the rest. The trigger reset. The weapon is fired, trigger to the rear, you'll hear the click. That's all the further, and the gun fires. So your trigger resets right there. Glock to me is the #1 weapon on the market. All the Glocks have the same outstanding trigger reset. And the Glock 43 is very popular. We sell a lot of them. Where it loses its popularity is it doesn't have an external safety, where all the rest of them do. The only safety it has as far as externally in view is the trigger safety. They have drop safeties in them, but the trigger safety. And you know, what we were always taught was this is your best safety. If you index and your finger stays out of the trigger, off the trigger and outside the trigger guard, this weapon shouldn't go off. So this is your best safety. But a lot of people want an external safety, and I understand that. That's perfectly fine. You know, experienced shooters come in, they don't want safeties. The Smith & Wesson Shield comes with or without a safety, so that's something to think about. But like I said, again, I'm a little biased with Glock. I carried a Model 21 my whole career. So that's about it in a nutshell as far as the top 4. There are others out there, surprisingly enough, and I'm sure some of you are going to be surprised when you put these 4 together. And what I talked about trigger reset, the Taurus and the Glock have the best trigger reset. I give Taurus, and like I said, a B+ on their trigger reset, a Glock an A. And trigger reset, I'm telling you, once you learn trigger reset and firing a weapon, you become a lot more effective with the weapon, and you can fire a lot more faster. So that's it. That's a quick overview of the top 4 that we sell here. There are other weapons that people come in and request. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of other good weapons out there on the market, and we have them available to our customers. But these are the top 4 we sell. We keep them in stock, and we do well selling them, and people go out and shoot them and do well. So, have any questions? Feel free to put them in the comment section. You know, or anything you need to let me know to help me out on any of these, I'm more than welcome to listen to you. Like I said, I don't know everything. I know just enough to be dangerous, and I'm not an expert by no means. So, but those are our top 4. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Sooner or later, we're going to get Scarlett on here. You're going to get to meet her. She's going to be doing some stuff, and also get on there and look at us on Facebook. Put us in the search engine on Facebook, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.